source, I know it's hard to remember. All 1,980 members. That's why you have to go and collect them all. Tell your parents they can buy them at the mall now.
Hello and welcome to Speeding Bullets Repackaged. I almost said the other title of the other show, but that's not it. I am Richie.
Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Tupper. Be Thursday.
Yes.
A
5th.
Eighth. It's not May the.
It's 8th.
It's May.
It's
8th. May the 5th. Did you randomly lose like 3 days?
All the time.
Jesus.
All the time.
Jesus. What day is it? Is it March 3rd? No, man. It's like April 16th. Holy shit. I must have had one of those coma things again. Oh, I go in and out of comas all the... French toast, please.
You paused and I thought you were frozen for a second. I'm like, no, just dramatic pause. We got some new graphics for you today that you'll see. Not right now, but they'll be coming up. You'll got some new music coming in for these segments too. I guess we should have talked about what order we want to do the segments in, but we'll figure it out as we go.
Well, we're going to do coming soon first because that's the best way to start everything off. Well, actually, we're going to talk about a little bit of news first because there's been some news in the world of action figures. We're going to talk about that first. But I do want to say, yes, we have gone Final Cut Pro on this motherfucker. So there is graphics, there is sounds. It is the basementiest of basements, but who cares?
That's right.
Because when we're on YouTube, go all in. Hey, YouTube, welcome. You're getting this on Monday, May the 10th. So even though we said May 8th, I like how both of us counted in our head. It was like, Look, you know what? I graduated with honors in high school. I had an 83.5 average. I would have had an even higher average, but I graduated from high school with a 60 in math. I am not math. I do not math. I do not.
I don't like chemistry.
Everything else.
I'm okay math, but yeah.
You have never shown any interest or ability to do much mathing. So how can you say you're okay math?
Because I've had a job that I've had to use math. I was in finance for the government.
I worked at a bank, Richie. A bank. I didn't do great at that job. I did maintain it I quit. I did not get fired. So
yes. Anyways,
must have been at least okay.
The big news,
news
that we got for you in the world of action figures, at least for Canada anyway, is that
Canada.
One of my favorite retailer to get action figure from, GameStop, has been purchased. The Canadian branch of it has been purchased by Stefan Tetro. He's a Canadian entrepreneur and actually co-owner of McFarlane Toys, who will be purchasing GameStop Canada and returning it to its EB Games title.
Oh my God, back to EB Games. When was the last time that GameStop was called EB Games? Like, I feel that was like 10 years ago.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't even that late because while they took over EB Games a while ago, like over 10 years ago, they didn't actually rebrand to GameStop until like 2019, 2020. So they've only just have the signs up for the last 5-6 years. And now they're going to have to change their signs. I walked in the day after and I'm like, to my favorite GameStop, I'm like, yeah, you guys haven't changed the sign yet? I'm like,
like, it's been a day.
Like, shut up, Richie.
To get it done by tomorrow.
If you're asking, anything that you have pre-ordered at GameStop will not be affected by this transition. Your pre-orders are safe, so don't worry about that. You'll still get all your action figures or video games or whatever you pre-ordered from GameStop. Soon returning to EB Games.
This is just a straight rebrand. It's not even a brand change. It's just a rebrand. They probably still have all of the old EB stuff in their back.
Not only that, but he wants EB Games to go back to things like midnight releases, and like he really wants it to be like a fandom center for people. So I'm interested to see what changes will come or what things will come back.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a great change. It's also, again, for people that that live in Canada, that now EB Games this is 100% Canadian owned, so we're not going to be tied to whatever's going on in the States, which is great considering the current political climate, the current economic climate. It's good for it to be in country for us, and I think this is a great thing. I think it's great to do the rebrand. I loved EB back in the day. I never loved the GameStop branding, mainly because like EB was like the catch-all for like video games and collectibles and action figures and a little bit of board games, and GameStop just felt like more video game. Yeah. It always felt like a name for just a video game thing.
Yeah, I agree. It's and I've always liked. I mean, EB stands for Electronics Boutique, but that's electronics is very encompassing as well as the word boutique. So you can literally sell anything at those.
So actually, I have a receipt here from GameStop from when we went in March, and I got the Saw Viper for G.I. Joe. And I just realized that this was on the back. It's already there. It's been on the back of the goddamn receipts. Even now, they just had those old receipt rolls kicking around.
I think it's still like business name. I think it's like official business name is GameStop EB Games Canada. But yeah, they still had all that shit going on the receipts and stuff. So, but I'm glad that it's coming back to be solely Canadian. I think it's going to be a good move, and I hope we get even better stuff out of the deal too.
So that's now we're going to have EB Games Canada. We have Toys R Us, which is pretty much only Canadian. The Americans are losing all of their cool, one-stop shop places. Although I will say this, Richie, we do not have Ross stores here in Canada, which is like, I guess it's sort of like Winners, Marshalls, but they have more like toys there, so we don't ever get those Ross deals like they have in the States, and that is super frustrating because they get awesome shit over there, and it's heavily discounted. That's fucking bullshit. What? We elected Mark Carney, and this is the result. Bring Ross to Canada.
God damn it, Carney. He never thinks about the action figure collectors.
Yeah, just like Obama's America, this is Carney's character. Never thinks of the. What would a Canadian Ross name be? Like, what's a Canadian name that we would like? Would it be Doug's?
Yeah, Doug's.
Welcome to Doug's Canada. Hey, welcome to Doug's, eh?
Actually, it'd probably be named Doug's, eh?
Doug's, eh?
Yeah.
Welcome to Doug's, eh? By the way, before we get into what's coming soon now, I just want to tell you, thanks for watching this video. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell. See, look at that. I can't hear the bell. Richie doesn't have the sound up, so I can hear the bell. But every time we say bell, he apparently hits the bell. You're welcome. And you're not going to hit the bell now because every time we say bell, Richie hits the bell sound, which is like 5 or 6 dings that you just heard. I almost said bell again, but I didn't because I didn't want him to ding. Bell! Anyway, thanks for watching.
You saw the new graphic for coming soon already, and I slipped in some music, but now it's all put together professionally, so here we go.
Ooh. The professionalism. Drinks beer. Gee, how long is this song?
It's like,
Jesus Christ.
It's like 7 or 8 seconds. I don't know. The other one's shorter.
You have no ability to self-edit.
Hold on.
Edit. I swear to God.
11 seconds. It's 11 seconds.
11 seconds is forever. It's got to be like 3.
Well, the other
Like,
one's not bad. We'll get to the other one afterwards. But
11 seconds?
maybe I'll shorten it. We'll see. So, we're going to start off with some NECA stuff this time because it's something specifically that is right up my alley. There's a Chucky blind box series that is going to be coming up. Throwing that up there now. You see a little display of the solo box and the display set of the blind box. And here you go with the various different Chuckies that you can get it. There's 6 different ones. There is the Christmas and the Buff Chucky. I have a different version of the Christmas Chucky, and I think one of the Chuckies I actually have the Buff Chucky head, but it's going to be great because I'm going to be able to interchange all of these Chucky heads together. These figures are coming from the Chucky TV series, which if you haven't watched, you should because it's awesome. Here's Colonel Chucky and Executed Chucky. Colonel Chucky is kind of like a Colonel from what's that fucking movie? Apocalypse Now. It's kind of based off.
None of the photos you're showing match up with the descriptions that just.
And then we've got.
I see bald Chucky. I see like a robot Chucky.
Bald Chucky is Colonel Chucky, and the Chucky next to him is Executed Chucky. He's missing half of his jaw. That's how he was executed. But next you have Good Guy Chucky on the left because they basically in the show because Chucky had further taken his soul apart to put into multiple dolls, so there was different variations of Chucky out there, and they actually had captured one and basically tortured him into becoming a good guy. So there's Good Guy Chucky and Bound and Gagged Chucky.
Voldemort
is the last one.
Gagged. Is that the name of the Bound
yeah,
and
that's what
Gagged
they've
Chucky?
named it, is Bound and Gagged Chucky.
So are these like regular action figure sized, or like what's the
well, regular like Chucky action figure size? They're probably like 4 to 6 inches. Is
4 inches
is what I'm guessing, but it's gonna be awesome because I'm gonna have so many more Chuckies than you have Snake Eyes.
What's the? Well, yeah. I mean, they haven't released a set of 6 blind box Snake Eyes figures. Would be a little bit ridiculous because they don't have that many variations on. Well, no, actually, they at this point, based on all of the different lines over all of the different decades, they probably have about 12 different Snake Eyes all told. So yes, they could do that with Snake Eyes. Shut up. What's the retail? Is this going to retail for the same as regular action figures, or what's the deal?
I've only seen because on NECA site right now, it's the only where I can see it, and the only way you can pre-order it at the moment is to buy a box set where you're guaranteed to get the 6 figures, but that's going for $150 US is the price. Yeah, so I would probably say there's 6 of them. I would say they would probably retail them for $19.99 solo as the blind boxes.
Okay,
that's my guess.
Okay, so it's just a little figure.
Yeah.
No, a couple of accessories.
Yeah, they're not accessory
like 4
heavy
inches
because
or so.
they just come in like the other Good Guy box doll that I got for the other Chucky. They come in a box like that, and they look like they all have one accessory with them, which is fine because I've got a bunch of other Chucky accessories that I can play with on all of them. So.
You know what? I'm digging that. I'm digging that that whole vibe they're throwing down. Smaller boxes, simple figures, very few accessories. $20. It's probably like $27 Canadian. That's pretty good. Yeah. I gotta say, it's pretty good. I like that. I like that. I think more action figure companies should do those simple releases of just the figures, and so you have something. I'm on board. I'm on board with this. I won't get any of the Chucky ones because I have no interest in Chucky. But
I will.
Those of you that are Chuck heads, like Richie, that's probably also something for Chuck Taylors. You guys have something in common. Fans of Chuck Taylor, fans of Chucky, Chuckheads. Boom, there you go. They need to do a collaboration.
There we go.
Chuck Taylor's and Chucky's. Free idea.
Yeah.
Money, please.
So that's all we got NECA-wise, or at least all that I found. But there was just a Hasbro Pulse stream on May the 2nd for the May the 4th stuff, and they spewed out a whole whackload of Star Wars stuff that is going to be coming our way. First of which, we've got this special action figure set. I don't think that's the actual box at this point, but it's Stormtroopers of the Empire. Is what it is. It's already out for pre-order by the time you're airing this, because we're actually airing it after we're actually recording it after they've already been pre-ordered. But the 3 figures that you're gonna get with this one is you're gonna have the Sand Trooper. You're also gonna have the Scout Trooper in that 3-pack. You're not getting 3 of each, it's just 3 different poses, just to be clear. And then you have the Snowtrooper. Which kind of looks like that version of Cobra Commander with the thing hanging over his face.
No, it doesn't.
You could paint that blue and make it a Cobra Commander. I'm telling you.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
But that's coming from the Vintage series as well.
That's right, the little ones.
Yeah, they've got They've a whole different series of stuff, figures coming out. This is the Black series for the Balin, Sakura, and Manga Guard. Balin's on the left, the Manga Guard is on the right. Stuff from Revenge of the Sith. I should say. And then... Sith! Here's a look at Balin on her own with her accessories. I guess one of it is one of her tentacle things to attach somewhere.
No, Richie, that's the moving lightsaber.
Oh, that's a moving lightsaber thing. Oh, that's what that is. Okay. You can tell I don't get... Star Wars action figures, because I didn't recognize that as a moving lightsaber.
So I gotta say, I don't love that style of moving lightsaber. That just little like wing. I do like the ones with the larger swipe. Those are pretty dynamic. But even then, your mileage may vary on those.
At this,
I wish they'd make a clip.
The blue things that come out of her head. I thought it was like something to do with that. So.
I mean, you're blind, so it's so teeny for me. But I know what it is, because I've seen them before. I've seen them.
This is a better look at the Manga Guard. That actually looks pretty cool. I like the staffs, the cloth cloak. You know, I'm a sucker for cloth accessories because they look cool, unlike the vinyl accessories counterpart. Yeah. And here's another in its packaging. You know what? Speaking of vinyl and cloth, I was looking at, you know how I was saying I don't want the Captain Boomerang because the vinyl coat just looks so janky. If it didn't have that, like, I think if I saw that figure at a lower price, I would get it and just not put the coat on it. Because the boomerangs are really cool in it, and the way that you could hold them and pose them looks really cool. And Captain Boomerang is really cool, but that vinyl jacket looks like ass.
Again, vinyl is not a great product. It doesn't. There's only ever been one toy that I've ever had that had a vinyl-esque. It wasn't even full vinyl, but it was like a vinyl style coat. And that worked, and that was Hellboy. And that was from the movie Hellboy set, I think, in 2005. And I still have that figure. The coat's still fine on the figure. But let's be honest, this is an area where I think in the case of that figure, they used other cloth elements. It wasn't cloth. They used other movable texture elements that kind of worked with the vinyl. I think vinyl should be used sparingly. I think it should be a combination of vinyl and cloth, and I think there should be wire in it so you can pose it. But that's an extra cost. And but you know what I think they should do with this is that I think that they should make the shitty vinyl version, But I think they should add $10 since they love messing around with price points, and I think they should give you a better cloth cape or cloth.
If that jacket was cloth or some sort of vinyl cloth mashup, it could have been a whole lot better, and it would have looked. Because the thing about it is, the thing that makes it look so terrible is he looks like a kid in a winter coat that's like keeping their arms up.
Well,
you know.
It's like an inflatable fat suit that you play, racist sumo games.
Mm-hmm. Anyways,
look,
we got sidetracked.
For a second, just pause and say that if you've ever done those inflatable sumo things, that's fun. It's fine, but it's super racist. Yeah. So just be aware of that if you do
a little fat shaming too. Next up, Next up, we got some vintage series stuff. Here's a look at the Cantina Adventure set and 4 separate figures that I'm going to go through right now. Greedo. I meant to put a sound effect, get a sound effect for his him getting shot by Han Solo, but I completely forgot. If I remember, I'll put it in post.
You won't remember, folks.
I put the bell in post last time, excessively. This is Hammerhead. I sort of remember him from the movies. Like, other than Greedo, a lot of these characters are just sort of people that are maybe on the screen for a few seconds. You got
Hammerhead is in one shot.
Yeah,
one shot.
Same with Snaggletooth. He was in one shot, and they couldn't even come up with a more creative name than Walrus Man for this guy. So,
so Richie, these are all figures that they did release as part of the original Star Wars line in the 1980s, and in fact, they were all highly valued on the collector's market for a long time. I'm fairly certain that the Snaggletooth figure was one of the most, and maybe still is one of the most coveted figures across all of action figurdom. So if you find them, even not in a package,
get 'em.
Wow, you're rich. You are wealthy. Maybe not so much now. But back in the day, like, these things were going for thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. They were very, very, very rare. So that's probably why they put them in this line for the Tina action set. Only in Star Wars can you find figures released as a part of a Get Drunk in the Bar series. Like,
that'd be awesome.
Never seen anything like that before. Just like, hey, would you like to pad out your aliens being drunk in public? Action figure series set. Here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
even better.
Missing, of course.
Now you can do that in Lego, because in Lego Fortnite you actually have the cantina that you can build, so you can literally make yourself a bar in Lego Fortnite.
I mean, I'm still waiting on that sad drunk Uncle Owen from when Luke was about 9, sitting in the bar, just being like, "Why did we take on this response? This kid's a nightmare, moving my blue milk with his mind all over the place, never touching the power converters. Oh my God, why did I do this?"
Yes,
drunk Uncle Owen.
We'll move along to Uncle Owen adjacent, though, and that's with a vintage series Obi-Wan Kenobi, or as it's titled, Ben Obi-Wan Kenobi on the card. Another look.
Ben Kenobi.
Yep, Ben Kenobi.
Old Ben.
Gotta love that. Gotta love the use of the cloth. Do the Star Wars stuff have wire in them? The cloth accessories?
I don't know. I haven't gotten a Star Wars figure from the more modern blood. The last Star Wars figure with a cape I got was Darth Vader, and I'm looking at him right now because he's right above my shelf here. I'm not pulling him down. I just got him posed the way that I want. Okay, like, don't judge me. No wire in his cape. It's a huge ass cape, and also he has cloth covering his legs, as per the movie, and none of that has wires in it, and that was from about 2021, I want to say. So maybe the more modern ones, I don't know.
Yeah.
I doubt it. But I mean, also, this is vintage series stuff, so I mean, you are seeing the cloth with the vintage series stuff because it's smaller. And again, 3 3/4 inches, less money to go into cloth. Yeah, upscale to 6 and 7 inches, and they're like, we're not.
What do we do?
For that.
All right.
Not paying for that.
More Black Series stuff. We got the Shore Trooper and Death Trooper here.
It's a 2-pack, right?
Yeah, it's a 2-pack. Here's a better look at them outside of the package, and with their accessories.
This is very Rogue One, very Andor. Obviously, Andor tearing through the Star Wars universe right now, pulling up some great episodes, fantastic, some of the best of Star Wars stuff that we've ever seen. So no surprise that they would release a bit of an Andor series or a collection of figures on May 2nd.
Which I got to catch up on that because I haven't watched any because I started watching North of North and then I went to White Lotus and I've been just watching all of that.
I'm telling you right now, I know this is an action figure podcast, but Andor Series 2 might be the best Star Wars stuff we've ever gotten ever. And the episodes 7, 8, and 9, which just dropped this past Tuesday, are absolutely going to be in my top 5 for Star Wars ever. Like, ever. It is so good. If you're not watching Andor, go watch Andor. It's amazing.
We saw Sand Trooper earlier, but we're also getting a Black Series Sand Trooper with a few more accessories on its own. Here's a better look at it, posed as well.
Heavily thinking of getting this one.
Yeah.
Heavily thinking about it. Yeah. I do love me troop builders. I do love the troops a lot with Star Wars. It's really, I think, going to depend on pricing. As we've talked about before in this podcast, and I've ranted to Richie on numerous times of us going out and hitting the toy stores, the Star Wars stuff is fucking expensive. And it is more expensive than any of the other stuff. So Marvel, DC, at the price point that they're at, you go in and you're looking at anywhere from $32 to $37. Star Wars stuff is always priced $10 more because they know they can, because they know that it's a huge license. It's just, man, like $45 for an action figure. I don't know about that. So I'm hoping see some price drops. I'm hoping maybe with this new EB Games owning GameStop thing that they put some really great deals on some Star Wars stuff. They tend to be a little bit better price, but it still tends to be like $39.99. Yeah. Like 6-inch action figure, $35. That's pushing it, but I'll do it. $40. Once in a blue moon, like again, not every time.
And I've said, like I don't have any Star Wars action figures, but that's a very fucking slippery slope for me to start, because there's just it's so expansive, and I already have no room that I'm creative with the space that I'm making. Like, I just made room up on that shelf by putting away some other collectibles that weren't action figures. So like.
I also, you're in trouble too, Richie, because it does feel like they're going through the older figures that they had out years ago and doing newer releases with the different articulation that they've come up with over the last couple of years. And Star Wars stuff doesn't have a lot of pins in it to begin with, because of the way that they modeled their figure lines, but the range of motion for the earlier Black Series wasn't as expansive as it is now. So I do feel like we're going to get a whole bunch of the older figures remodeled with their newer articulation. That means that you're going to get, again, they've had Sand Troopers out there, they've had Snow Speeder Troopers, they've had all of these guys have been released before. I feel like we're coming into a new age of re-releases with the newer manufacturing techniques that Hasbro has put in. So you're in trouble, is what I'm saying. This is trouble zone, because you're gonna be like, oh, now there's a Han figure. Now there's a new Luke figure. Oh, there's a whatever your proclivity is. Like, for me, I'm a big Empire stan. They just did a bunch of Empire releases like 3 years ago for the anniversary. And now it's like, oh, we're going to start to see that stuff again come through with the newer articulation. I'm like, oh, want to do this? Do I want to do this? Yeah. And it's a big, solid maybe. I might have to have that. I think I'm going to have to get that Sand Trooper guy. I think I'm going to have to do that. And then it's going to have a Snow Trooper, and then you have to get a Speeder bike rider guy. And then it's just like, and then the Emperor's in Guard. I had an Emperor Guard when I was a kid. I love that guy. God damn it. God damn you, Star Wars. Stop being great. 5 seconds, stop being great.
All right. Here's another shot at the Sand Trooper, but you'll also notice right next to him is Clone Lieutenant Gal. Or is it Gal? Is that how you pronounce his name? I forget.
I don't know.
Anyways,
I don't know.
He's there. Here's a better shot at him. He's got, of course, his non-helmet and helmet look. And I think I've got one more picture. No, that's the last
I only
picture.
know two clone troopers, and that's Rex and Cody.
Yeah.
And that's it. And they're both in the Clone Wars cartoon pretty heavily. Rex in particular was very popular. I don't know the name of all the goddamn clone troopers.
Yeah.
Like there's like 20. There's like 20 of them that have
They all
real
look
names.
the same.
I'm not... Put up the wah sound after you said that. Moving on.
All right. That is the end
What's
of the Star Wars stuff that we got from the Pulse stream. Yeah, that's all that we got from the Star Wars. There was a few more things. There was a few more things, but they weren't action figures. There was a lightsaber and a couple Lego things as well. But no, I've done it for
we cannot. We cannot cover Lego on this goddamn podcast, okay? It's just not going to happen. I know people out there love Lego. I love Lego. Richie loves Lego. We can't. You'll get one Lego thing we talk about here, like out of 1,000. Like it's too much, and we just can't. This is action figures. It's not Lego. I'm sorry. Stands. I'm with you, but we can't do it. So no.
So what do you want to do next? Because the pictures I have left are all things that I've picked up since we last sat. And then I have so these are all things that I've bought. I guess those don't really count for the review segment. I can review them. But do you want to review your do you want to do your top 5 stuff first, or do you want to do the...
We can hit the top 5.
Okay.
We can hit that top 5. Throw up that graphic. Throw up that sound.
5, 4, 3, 2.
I feel like I should have been the one.
There we go.
With the sound for this. I left it up to Richie.
There we go. So
I love that. 5. Mortal Kombat. I love that. I'm big fan of that voice. Finish him.
Freesound.com. You're awesome.
Your fries are ready. Here, your fries are ready.
Ding, fries are done.
So it's... All right, that's like 17 references in 30 seconds. I think
we're overloading them.
So this is a new segment, top 5. We're going to do top 5 whenever we fucking feel like it, folks. So you're going to see top 5s from us, and they will cover any myriad of subjects that we come up with. But I thought, because I talked about this last week, that I was thinking about doing a top 5 for this week, and I did. And I was going to do Batman, and then I said no. We don't talk about G.I. Joe stuff enough on this podcast, and that's my obsession. And so we're just going to continue that on. So this week... our top 5 is my top 5 head sculpts in the G.I. Joe classified line. So, let's hit them with number 5.
Coming in.
These are in no particular...
What?
They're sort of in order.
How can they not be in order when you gave them the numbers? They're literally in a fucking order.
They're sort of in order. Look, when we get to number 1, I'll explain why they're sort of in order. But you're like, yeah, okay. Now, there are I'm not going to show photos because I didn't take photos, but there's so many honorable mentions, and obviously there's figures that I don't have. But like, I love the Baroness's face on her original figure that she came with the coil bike. That's really great. I also want to give a shout out to Duke. Both Duke figures I think have really strong head sculpts. I think the Duke figure that came initially, which was like the 3rd or 4th. You're released in the line, I think is one of the best head sculpts in the whole line. He just looks great. A lot of people say he looks too young. I don't care. He's a great head sculpt. And shout out to Copperhead and Cobra Commander's retro head and the all of the trooper heads up until the retro trooper head, I think, are all really great and have a lot of character. And there's some really good Stalker's face too. I almost put Stalker on this list. He's right. It's right there. He has a really great head sculpt. The first number
coming in at number 5, and I'm continuing with my silly naming of GI Joes because I either can't remember their names or don't know them. And here is Old Man Joe.
Old Man Joe. You couldn't have come up with something better than that.
Why? I'm going with like the Old Man Logan line of stuff. There's.
Sure. All right. So this is Outback. Now, this is the Tiger Force Outback. There are 2 versions of Outback that were released. One's regular line. This is the Tiger Force, which is was a Toys R Us exclusive. I think it was a Target exclusive in the States. And this figure cost me $45 plus tax. I do not usually spend much money on action figures or G.I. Joe action figures. This guy was worth it. This is one of the best G.I. Joe figures they've ever put out, in my opinion. I love the head sculpt on this, mainly because the original head sculpt for Outback is really just a guy with red hair. And what they did as a part of this switchover for the Tiger Force line is they changed up. They put a different graphic on his T-shirt. The tiger obviously is really great, but they changed his hair to make him a little bit older looking, a little bit grizzled. And really, this is the version of Outback that everyone wants. Not a lot of people got him because he was exclusive to Target stores in the States and Toys R Us stores in Canada, and is not something that everyone has, but everyone coveted him because that's the version. Whatever fucking redhead thing they got going on with the other version of Outback and his survival written across his chest, no. This is the version. This is the guy of it. Great job. Great repaint job.
The runner-up nickname for this guy was Metal Gear Joe because he kind of also looks like Solid Snake. So.
No, they don't all have to have Joe in their name. You know.
Hey,
like,
you're not making up the silly
Joe
names. So you shut up.
That's true. It's true. I would do a better job.
All right. This guy is
Shots fired.
This guy is G.I. Dwight because he reminds me of Dwight from The Walking Dead.
This is Scrap Iron. Scrap Iron is number 4 on my list of best head sculpts. Scrap Iron is a classic G.I. Joe figure. This one is one of everyone's favorite G.I. Joe figures because it does come with the rocket launchers. And it is at a higher price point, but those rocket launchers are phenomenal. A little drone rocket launcher thing. I love it. It's really, really great. Love his helmet and everything. The helmet with the original figure in the 80s was fully plastered to his head. That's when you could take it off. And obviously they have these great details of him just being this psychopath who's always having stuff blown up around him. And I just think they did a really wonderful job of adding all of those scars and details to that really under the helmet look. Yeah, it's really, really cool. He's got a really, really nice look, and he's a figure that you will display with the helmet on and with the helmet off. And I think that really just shows the versatility of the G.I. Joe line.
One thing I've noticed about the G.I. Joe figures, and like if I go back to the Old Man Joe for a second, even though it's plastic, the detail in the hair is really, really good.
Yeah. I think they really, with this line, have gone above and beyond with crafting really detailed, unique looks for these characters. And I mean, these are just my picks for what the best head sculpts are. I don't even have all of the G.I. Joe figures. I have about 70 at this point, but there's over 140. And you could pick any, like there is literally, you're rife for choice as far as like quality head sculpts, not just for head characters, but also the helmets and the designs that go into it. Really, really great job that they've been doing with this line. This is, again, I think this is why this is one of the best figure lines ever at this point. Anyway, number 3.
Number 3, because when I saw these ones, it made me think of Iron Eagle and Lou Gossett Jr., so I just called them Lou Gossett Jr.
That's racist, Richie, and we're not even going to... That's racist.
It looks like Lou Gossett Jr.,
It's Roadblock. This is one of the iconic G.I. Joe figures. Now, Roadblock is a very famous G.I. Joe classified figure because he had, count them, 2 iterations before this one, and they fucked up both of them. So this was basically, this figure came it was an Amazon exclusive, and it was the first, in my opinion, the first of the retro throwback designs for across the whole line. And then when this figure came out and it was received so positively, that's where they started to go back and release more figures from the Joe line that were in line with the 1980s 3 3/4 inches ones that we love so much. This is a 10 out of 10 action figure by all amounts. The helmet is great. The detail on the helmet is wonderful. The detail on his face is spectacular.
I know he's Roadblock, but he really does look like Lou Gossett Jr. Like, it's what I immediately thought, and then I looked up a picture of Lou Gossett Jr., and it was him, so...
Yeah, love lift us up where we belong, Richie. Go and put on Iron Eagle later and just envision Roadblock here playing in the movie. Anyway, great. This is a great one of my... Roadblock is one of my favorite figures in the whole line, but the face sculpt on this guy is just out of this world. It's one of the best in the whole series, and I put it at number 3 for a good reason.
Cool. Number 2. This is X-Force Joe, because... just the colors remind me of X-Force.
Oh, all right. Yes, he does. What's the guy's name in X-Force? Shit, I can't remember his actual name, the actual character's name. Something X. Some guy
Phantom X.
Like Secret... Phantom X. Yeah, that's it. This is Firefly. Again, another classic... very popular figure, a figure so popular that they put out another version of him a couple of years ago. This was the first release of part of the Cobra Island line. That was, again, Target exclusive, Toys R Us exclusive. Couldn't get it anywhere else. This is a figure that I have a love-hate relationship with because he has that giant bomb vest, which really limits the articulation. It really, really does. But... if you only care about how the figure looks, this is one of the coolest looking G.I. Joe classified figures total. His head sculpt is very simple because it's mostly mask, but that crazy look in his eyes is really what sells.
It does.
It sells this guy 24/7, 365. I included photos with the goggles. The goggles obviously fit over his eyes, but I can't put the goggles over his eyes because it just ruins that like psychopathic look for this great character. I originally wanted to swap the head of this Firefly with the other Firefly, which is more in line with the 80s series, but the ball joints have been changed by that point, so it doesn't fit. I'm very disappointed about that. But both Firefly figures, I think, are wonderful. They are problematic in many ways. They're not perfect, but you know what? I'm happy I have both of them. I love both of them. And maybe we will get a perfect Firefly figure at some point, but I feel like the original Firefly, if he had more articulation with his big vest on, would have been one of the best figures in the whole line. But you know what? Hindsight is 20/20. He got a great head sculpt. I love that head sculpt. So, number 2.
And coming in at number 1, while I believe I know this G.I. Joe's name, this G.I. Joe figure's name, it reminded me of another character that if he was in this universe, he would look like this. And this is kind of to go with G.I. Dwight earlier. This is G.I. Negan.
Great. It's obviously not Negan. To anyone who is a collector of the G.I. Joe classified line, this is no surprise. This is number 1. It's Major Blood. Australian psychopath Sebastian Blood. I mean, this is when people talk about the greatness of this line, this is everyone's favorite figure. It is no surprise. Again, we've talked about it on the podcast before because you've seen us show photos of the upcoming Major Blood release. This is the re-release. This figure that I have, same head sculpt, just a little, same figure, just red trim around the whole thing. This is the best G.I. Joe classified figure by a mile. It is so great, and it is a great among greats. But look at the face on this guy.
It looks really good.
How phenomenal is this face? This is exquisite work.
They're so good with the scarring details. Is one thing that I've noticed in all the pictures that we've done since we started doing this. That anyone with a scar, the scar looks amazing.
Yeah, and these aren't the only scarred figures that I have. A bunch of the other ones that I've collected have little, like Duke has a little bit of a scar on his face. General Hawk, I think, has a little bit of a scar. They really, again, the characterization for these toys really shines as a part of this line. And that's why we did a top 5 head sculpts, because it's really just a way of showing, if you've never collected this line, you're not into this line, this is the average. I mean, they do have some not so great head sculpts that come out as a part of the G.I. Joe Classified series. Sure, it does happen, but I think when they put the time and effort into it, I mean, it is exemplary work. And there's a reason Major Blood is getting a re-release, is because more people wanted to have access to this toy. He is their best figure, and now a lot more people are going to get to experience that. Yeah. So, good job, G.I. Joe Classified line. I'm always looking forward to the stuff that you're doing, because you do great work. Please don't change anything. You're really nailing it. We don't talk about Falcon. Falcon was a drop. Don't really talk about the Tomax and Zaymot figures, which were very disappointing. And everything else has been, for the most part, either great to incredible. And yeah, there you go.
Next up, well, it's not really a review segment because it's just a bunch of shit that I got this week or since we sat down last. It's like,
oh, Richie, I gotta make a card for that. Shit Richie got since we last talked.
We need a song too. It's got to be like, what did Richie get? What did he buy now? Don't worry, his kids are fed and it's not meth.
So we're doing that. Sure. Next episode, I'm going to have a card that says shit Richie got this week. 100%. So, he'll come up with a theme song. We'll do this regularly because we love you, YouTube.
Now, part of these is stuff I picked up randomly because the McFarlane sale. Some of it is pre-orders that have come in, and one of it is a alternate version of a figure that I had already picked up. I'll start off first. These two guys, first, I've got this Green Arrow here that I picked up. I walked into my GameStop late last week, and they had just received a shipment of some older stuff from the warehouse. They're like, sell the stuff while the McFarlane sale's going on. And so they had this Page Puncher Green Arrow, Injustice 2 Green Arrow. Now, I do have a similar one of these. It's basically without the hat. But the hat, like the other figure, I didn't pull him out because he's in the back of a display right now and I don't want to knock over the other figures. But when we do a comparison at some point, I will bring him out. But the other one is just him with no hat. He got his hair, so the head's a bit bigger and stuff. But I'm a Green Arrow fan. I'm going to pick up everything Green Arrow that I can get. And there's just a little side...
He does look like he could fit in with the G.I. Joe Classified line sometimes.
Another Page Puncher, and I'd never seen a Page Puncher this big before, but there was also a Grodd. A really good looking Grodd too. This is I think this is from the Flash War, if I'm not mistaken, is that look. I might be mistaken. But we were just talking a little while ago about how stupid it was they made a Titano to go with the Flash, and I wanted a Grodd, and you know what? I found a Grodd, and he's really cool.
Is this Grodd now? Have you done a compare between the Grodd the Titano and this Grodd, and see if there's any like crossover as far as the looks of the figures?
I have not. That's a good idea. I will take a look at that next time, or before next time, and take a look. But I think that sculpt is old enough that it's not, and I think the Titano sculpt is larger as well. I think it's more akin to the size that the King Kong sculpt is that comes with Batman.
Is it Titano or Titano?
I think it's Titano.
Okay, well, no one wants a tit boy anyway.
Well, some people do. Anyways, pre-orders.
It's not a toy. It's not a toy. I mean, that's not.
Now, actually, one of these next figures that I got was a pre-order, and one was one that I was like, you know what? I don't think I like this one, and I'm not going to get it. But when I went to pick up my pre-order, I saw this other figure, and I was like, you know what? It looks really fucking cool, so I'm going to buy it. And that's the first one I'm putting up, and that's the Miles Morales Brooklyn 2099 version of the Gamerverse Spider-Man. He comes with some web effects. One that I've kind of put into his hand there, although it kind of wouldn't really look like that. I just want it to put the effect in there, so to speak. That's one thing I got to say that they got to do better with Spider-Man stuff is making the web effects more usable. Here he is with everything that he comes with. The two different little web effects, which I might just put up on the side of a shelf or something as part of a display. But I really, the thing that really makes it for me, and when you get a close look at it, it's the helmet's design on this. And it is very shiny and it looks so fucking cool.
I told you that this was going to be a cool figure, Richie.
Yeah.
Who said it when he saw? Who said it?
You said it. You said it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Thank you very much. Yeah. So when these figures came out and Richie and I were talking about him, he was like, I don't think I'm going to get that one. I'm like, that one looks fucking dope, dude. You got to wait till it comes out and see. And I was right. And we need a little Adam was right. Just
oh, it's not going to happen that
got
often.
It. Tupper nailed it. It happens at least once an episode.
Maybe.
Nailed it. Boom.
No,
See, I need a punch.
Boom.
Tupper nailed it.
The next thing that was a pre-order is this black suit Spider-Man from the set. You can see the boxes in the background. I wasn't too particular about the background. I guess I should have. But
no, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Here's the accessories that he comes with. He comes with some venomy tendrils. You've got his splayed...
It's like rope.
Yeah. And...
Here's some rope.
It is not. Oh, here he is. Him walking up the going up the boxes. The detail on the suit, you can sort of see it here, is really cool because it's not flat black. It's actually textured, like Venom. And then where's the last picture? Oh yes. So you have to hold up the tendril because it won't actually stay. Because otherwise, if you put it on him, it just goes like that. And it's a little limp.
Spidey needs some Cialis.
Yeah, we did see something that I sent Tupper the other day that he had already seen, but people using this cool idea with wires to keep their web effects up, these white wires. I have to get some other wire because the wire that I currently have that I was using for web effects, I don't think this is strong enough to hold up the webbing.
Can I reach it? Can I reach it? Can I reach it? Hold on. Oh, I can reach it. I did wrap my webbing from the Maximum Spidey in a little bit of the wiring that I have here. So let's just see if you can see it.
What type of wire did you get?
This is like wire that I use to put up pictures.
Okay, it's like picture hanging wire?
Yeah, you get it at Michael's, or they might have some at the dollar store, but it's got to be like wire. This is the stuff that they probably put in the capes that come with the McFarlane stuff. But I just wrapped it around. I have a whole bunch of it because as an artist, I do obviously have to make my own hanging materials, frames and things like that for people's houses. And I have a bunch. I just used some extra pieces that I had kicking around. This one, wasn't able to get it all the way around. You can see it's a little bit floppy on the end because I didn't have enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need some Cialis, Web.
This wire does well enough if you're just creating your own web effect.
Cialis? No Cialis.
But this wire itself isn't strong enough to support the other stuff, so I'm going to have to get some new wire.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they have it at Home Depot as well. Although don't shop at Home Depot, go to Home Hardware. Home Depot can suck balls unless they like sucking balls, in which case they should not suck balls.
that's right.
Home Depot is terrible. Don't shop at Home Depot. But yeah, just this is it. Just wrap it around what you have existing. You can barely tell it's there, and it's obviously very versatile, and it keeps the strength. And when I do some displays with Spideys, I will be using this stuff. Just as a side note, my Spider-Men have been kind of like hanging out in this pose for the last couple of days. They're just kind of like an argument. You know, what do you mean you're the best Spider-Man? What, man? I'm a pretty cool Spider-Man. I don't know. I'm still pretty cool, and I cost half the price. Whatever.
I have more accessories.
They just be kind of hanging around my desk.
So those are all the stuff that I picked up that were pre-orders / wild pickups, except for one. This is the last one that I have, but not the last thing I have for you, is one that I originally only got the chase for. And I was like, I don't know if I'll get the other one. The chase is really cool, but I found at Sunrise, and I got the classic 78 Superman look because I had gotten the chase. That was the Superman 3 look. And I'm glad I actually got the second version of it because it is really done well. And I've got him a little flying pose there, and I actually have a little comparison contrast, which now that of course I look at them, I was obviously very high when I opened the box and glanced at it quickly and not realized I had the chase. Because it is quite a striking difference. But
it's hugely different.
But I wasn't also paying that much attention when I opened the box. I was just like, yeah, Superman. All right, I'll open that later. And then like, holy fuck, I got the chase. But yeah, I'm super happy. I've got them up there together as well. So happy that I found the non-chase version.
This falls into the category of things that I knew you were going to get, because as great as that chase is, it is not really representative of like the official Superman from the Christopher Reeve area. Well, now I knew you had to get it. I was just waiting for you to finally find it and make the drop on it. But good. I'm glad that you you got it and you now have both.
Yeah, and Sunrise is good for that because they have a lot of variety of the stuff, and they seem to get a lot more chases than GameStop does. The last thing that I have for you, though, is something that just got delivered right before we started recording.
He's been going on about this thing all week. Now he finally has
my Green Goblin. Now, this is one of the most annoying packages to open. What I used to do is I used to try to like pry open the cardboard and then like slip it out that way, but now because I don't fucking save these things, I just fucking cut the thing.
He just cuts it.
So this might be hurting some people that are watching right now. I'm sorry. Whoa! I knocked down my water, but it didn't spill. But that's what you got to do with these things. Is just apparently not on this one. You got to cut it extra. But because they're so fucking annoyingly packaged.
Side note, please, someone who's watching this video, comment. Do people still do unboxing videos? Like, is this still something that's appealing to people?
I think people still do those things.
Did we move past it? Because here's the thing: if we move past it, if this is not going to increase our page views at all, we're not doing it. Because I think it's fucking stupid. But I mean, I'm in my 40s. Richie's in his 40s. Of course, we think it's stupid. But sound off in the comments if you think that unboxing is dumb, like we think unboxing is done. And if y'all like it, we'll still do it. I just won't say it's dumb.
He's got his little.
I can lie.
His little pouch
I'll lie to
there.
your face and tell you it's cool.
He also comes. He also comes with
little pooch. You got a little poochy pooch.
A Norman head, so you can have him. No goblin face in costume, and you can't have a goblin without a little pumpkin bomb to throw around. And of course,
I remember when the pumpkin bombs used to come with tabs that would stick to the hands because that's the only way you could put them in their hands is with a little tab or button. They don't do that anymore, thankfully.
You also can't have the goblin without his glider.
But his glider.
His glider.
To slide into the tabs. Is there posts in those on the goblin thing, or does it just slide in?
It just slides in.
It slides in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I don't love that design, but I mean, this is what they've been doing for years. I do love it when they actually.
they should
put
have
the
a tab
post
there,
in.
because it will be a little bit more difficult to pose. But I do have some ideas about how to suspend him from the ceiling, sort of like I have the Superman up here, so it looks like he's flying around. But the funny thing about this figure is, like, it sold out so fast initially on the pre-orders that I almost didn't get it. I happened just to be on the GameStop website, and I'm like, oh, it's available again. I'm going to pre-order it for delivery because I just want to make sure I get it. But, yeah, so we got some Green Goblin action. I don't actually have a lot of Spider-Man villains until recently, because I picked up the Doc Ock and I picked up the Electro, and now I've got a Green Goblin to fill out my villains a little bit.
Of course, that's a comic book villain, and you have the movie villains for Spider-Man. So now it's just like a multiverse of madness in your home right now.
That's right.
Of different figures from different iterations of the characters. Would you get the Willem Dafoe Spider-Man Green Goblin if you saw it at a good price?
I think so. I think I would get it if I saw it at a good price. It's not something for... Oh, that's good. It fits really well in the hand.
Yeah. Man.
It could probably fit in the other hand. So yeah, I am seeing there is a little bit of trouble with this thing, like, staying on. And I'm not quite sure why they put a hole in the back if he doesn't have an accessory to stick there.
It's probably a reuse from another line where there was a backpack.
Okay.
That's usually how you can tell that a figure is using reused parts, because yes, what the hell would Norman Osborn Green Goblin need with a backpack? But they probably made the jacket or the torso from brought it from another figure that did have a backpack, and that's usually where you can see stuff like that.
Put my Norman head in.
In your figure.
I think we've brought this up before, but these things from the dollar store are great for putting all your extra accessories in. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my 5th. I'm going to need a 6th soon.
Richie's going to need one more. I made some room in one of mine recently, so I actually have extra space, so I do not need to get another one as of yet, but we will see. I am pretty close to maximum usage. I also have a couple of other dollar store bins. They're about this big. Yeah. Plastic see-through. I use those for the backpacks.
I think I need to go through it and reorganize it a bit, because I could order it a little bit better. I think now that I see a bunch of accessories, I can probably make one that's more for all the longer accessories and stuff like that. So maybe that's something we can do one time you're here, is organize my accessories.
You know what? You're barking up the right tree, buddy. I love organizing stuff. Richie knows this. He knows this about me very well, but I love organizing stuff. I did, again, just do a little reorganizing of one of my bins of more of the stuff that I've gotten in. And I think it's good to go through those things every once in a while. I think also you need some smaller, bigger size bins that have a little bit of depth, so you can put like backpacks or larger accessories, like say these spindly spider webs in when you're not using them. It tends to be easier to store them in that. But yeah, I mean, whatever you use to store is whatever you use to store. But those bins from the dollar store, I think, are the best thing that you can possibly get. $3 at your local Dollarama or Dollar Tree. Get them.
Yeah.
Put your heads in there. Put your heads in there, folks.
That's right. And with that, I have nothing else. Do you have anything else?
I think this is enough.
Yeah.
I think we've thrown so much at the people's faces this week that they need time to recover. They need a full 7 days to recover. when we can come back and talk about more action figure joy.
And whatever I've gotten since then. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube so that we get attention to our page. Also, don't forget to check out speedingbulletsreloaded.com for the hub of all things Speeding Bullets to find all of our shows.
Follow us on the interwebs.
That's right.
That's where you can get love. Love comes and love goes, but get it there. What I'm saying. Get out of here. Bye. Go.
Bye.
See you next time.
Playing music.
Bye.
1984, I know it's hard to remember all 1,980 members. That's why you have to go and collect them all. Tell your parents they can buy them.
Members.
Now, when's that new series of 1984s coming out? Right now.
Bring joy.
Go.
You bring joy.
There we go.
You bring joy.